All right, back to our second iteration. We're on chapter 37 of Bereshit Genesis. Jacob dwelt in the land of his father's sojournings, in the land of Canaan. These are the generations of Jacob. When Joseph was 17 years old, being a shepherd, he was with his brothers with the flocks, and he was a lad. The sons of Bilhah and the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives, and Joseph brought evil tales about them to their father. And Israel loved Joseph more than all his sons, because he was a son of his old age, and he made him a fine woolen coat. And his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all his brothers, so they hated him, and they could not speak with him peacefully. And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told his brothers, and they continued to hate him. And he said to them, "Listen now to this dream which I have dreamed. Behold, we were binding sheaves in the midst of a field, and behold, my sheaf arose, and also stood upright, and behold, your sheaves encircled and prostrated themselves to my sheaf." So his brothers said to him, "Will you reign over us, or will you govern us?" And they continued further to hate him on the account of his dreams and the account of his words. And he again dreamed and he again dreamed another dream. And he related it to his brothers, and he said, "Behold, I have dreamed another dream. And behold, the sun, the moon, and the 11 stars were prostrating themselves to me." And he told to his father and to his brothers, and his father rebuked him and said to him, "What is this dream that you have dreamed? Will we come, I, your mother, and your brothers, to prostrate ourselves to you, to the ground?" So his brothers envied him, but his father awaited the matter. And his brothers went to pasture their father's flocks in Shechem. And Israel said to Joseph, "Are your brothers not pasturing in Shechem? Come, and I will send you to them." And he said to him, "Here I am." See, there's Hineni again. So he said to him, "Go now and see to your brother's welfare and the welfare of the flocks, and bring me back word." So he sent him from the valley of Hebron, and he sent him to Shechem, and he came to Shechem. Then a man found him, and behold, he was straying in the field. And the man asked him, saying, "What are you looking for?" And he said, "I am looking for my brothers. Tell me now, where they pasturing?" And the man said, "They have traveled away from here. For I overheard them say, 'Let us go to Dothan.'" So Joseph went after his brothers, and he found them in Dothan. And they saw him from afar. And when he had not yet drawn near to them, they plotted against him to put him to death. So they said to one another, "Behold, the dreamer is coming. So now let us kill him, and we will cast him into one of the pits. And we will say, 'A wild beast devoured him,' and we'll see what will become of his dreams." And Reuben heard, and he saved him from their hand. And he said, "Let us not deal him a deadly blow." And Reuben said to them, "Do not shed blood. Cast him into the pit, which is in the desert, but do not lay a hand upon him, in order to save him from their hand, to return him to his father." Now it came to pass that Joseph came to his brothers, and they stripped Joseph of his shirt, of the fine woolen coat which was upon him. And they took him and cast him into the pit. Now the pit was empty, there was no water in it. And they sat down to eat a meal, and they lifted their eyes and saw, and behold, a caravan of Ishmaelites was coming from Gilead, and their camels were carrying spices, balm, and lotus, going to take down to Egypt. And Judah said to his brothers, "What is the gain if we slay our brother and cover up his blood? Come, let us sell him to the Ishmaelites. But our hand shall not be upon him, for he is our brother, our flesh." And his brothers hearkened. Then Midianites, men, merchants passed by, and they pulled and lifted Joseph from the pit. And they sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 silver, and they brought Joseph to Egypt. And Reuben returned to the pit, and behold, Joseph was not in the pit. So he rent his garments. And he returned to his brothers and said, "The boy is gone, and where will I go?" And they took Joseph's coat, and they slaughtered a goat, and they dipped the coat in the blood. And they set the fine woolen coat, and they brought to their father, and they said, "We have found this. Now recognize whether it is your son's coat or not." He recognized it, and he said, "My son's coat. A wild beast has devoured him. Joseph has surely been torn up." And Jacob rent his garments, and he put a sackcloth on his loins, and he mourned for his son many days. And yeah, I think we should look at the Quran narrative of Joseph too, just so we can make like a comparison. Maybe if you're interested in that, we can kind of take a look at that. I did a side by side comparison. It's kind of interesting to see the engagement because that's like the only full narrative of like a prophetic narrative within the Quran. Um, if you're interested, we can do that now. We'll probably do it later at some point, but I think it would be interesting because it's a kind of a fascinating side by side comparison, kind of what how they operate, how they function in one way, and how they're different in others. I think it's kind of a cool interfaith type of examination. Yeah, I think we will do that. Maybe after we finish this, we'll just do another episode and talk about that and do like a side by side comparison. I think it's a good learning experience and it's kind of interesting. When I did it, I was like, "Whoa, there's interesting commonalities and quite interesting differences between the two texts." So it's cool that you saw a Portuguese novella. It's funny. I did a DNA test and it said I was a couple percent. I was a some percent Portuguese, Italian, and Spanish. I was like, wow, that's kind of interesting that I had that. Um, yeah, I have my Spain shirt on now. Um, yeah, I think that there's a lot that we can cover and engage. Um, let's see. This is the Discord again. If anybody's interested in the Discord, who hasn't come, but I think it's good that we can chat there. We're making it better. We actually have a new server tag, so that will be fun. Um, but I definitely think we should look at that. Maybe after we finish the Joseph account, we'll do a special episode on the Chronic account. So yeah, this was fun, and yeah, I guess we're gonna end for now. Peace.